In the headlines, while some details remain scarce relating to more people who will face charges, several area people have already been sentenced in court in a large-scale crop insurance fraud. This week, local group New NC Jobs, who's in favor of a chicken processing plant to be built in Nash County, kicked off their advertising campaign to urge support for the project. And throughout Black History Month, WHIG-TV is highlighting those in our community who have made positive changes to the way we live. Stay tuned to check out our leader of today. These stories and more coming up on NewsBreak starting now.
From WHIG-TV, this is NewsBreak 31. Now, here's Marie Torres.
Hello and thanks for watching WHIG-TV NewsBreak, your voice in the community. I'm Marie Torres. Up first is an update on a local missing man. Wednesday, the North Carolina Center for Missing Persons canceled a silver alert for 19-year-old Matthew John Gardner. That was just one day after Gardner, who suffers from several mental health problems, reportedly left LaCrisse Behavioral Health Services at 2707 Woodton Boulevard in Wilson. Wilson authorities say Gardner was found around 9 a.m. Wednesday on the 100 block of Jones Street. He has since been taken to Wilson Medical Center for evaluation. In our crime report, 2 area men faced drug charges. This week, Rocky Mount police say 32-year-old Terrence Leroy Petway and 21-year-old Gregory DeMond Freeman were charged with possession of marijuana. Police say they stopped the men at the intersection of Raleigh Road and Stoke Street late Monday night. The investigation found 9.9 grams of marijuana and cigar blunts. Police are also have already hunted and captured a wanted suspect. Rocky Mount PD believes 19-year-old Clinton Terrell Lynch targeted a home on 109 Cottonwood Court recently. Lynch is currently charged with attempted breaking and entering, damage to real property, and resist, obstruct, and delay. While some details remain scarce relating to more people who will face charges, several area people have already been sentenced in court in a large-scale crop insurance fraud. According to the U.S. Department of Justice Eastern District of North Carolina Attorney George E. B. Holding, the supposed ringleader of the scam, Robert Carl Stokes of Wilson, was sentenced weeks ago in a Raleigh court to nearly 3 years in prison for several crimes, including making false statements and conspiring to launder money. According to Holding, from 2003 to December 2006, Stokes, who was the owner and operator of the Hallmark Agency Incorporated, recruited farmers to enter into fraudulent schemes to defraud crop insurance companies of funds ultimately reimbursed by the federal government by assuring the farmers of profitable insurance claims regardless of whether or not the farmers actually suffered any crop loss. Stokes and other co-conspirators then worked with the farmers to make false crop insurance claims and to hide some or all of the tobacco production by selling it in other names or for cash to co-conspiring warehousemen. These farmers profited under the scheme because they were paid twice for each pound of tobacco. Stokes pled guilty in a Raleigh courtroom last month, saying, "I am as guilty as can be," end quote, after a long period of pleading not guilty. Some other local farmers already convicted include 62-year-old Mark Davis Pridgett of Wilson, 56-year-old Roy Johnson Raynor of Rocky Mount, David C. Harrison of Snow Hill, and Robert Lumel Dawson and William Earl Dawson of Stantonsburg. These local conspirators have been given at least a year's sentence in prison and or probation in order to pay fines and or restitution, all in total of over $27 million. There have been 22 people charged in connection with the scheme to defraud the federal crop insurance program. We are still working with the U.S. Attorney's Office to get all of those names. In other news this week, local group New NC Jobs, who is in favor of a chicken processing plant to be built in Nash County, kicked off their advertising campaign to urge support for the project. Their hope is that the plant will bring in thousands of jobs to the area. Fourth largest poultry producer in the nation, Sanderson Farms, proposed last year to build a chicken processing plant off NC Highway 97 and Interstate 95 in Nash County. Since then, several concerned residents have argued the plant's presence would would negatively impact property values, air and water pollution, and bring in an influx of immigrant population. With so much negative talk about the plant's upspringing, several business and community leaders have recently stood up in defense of the idea with a look at the thriving workforce. In Tuesday's press conference, here's what group leaders had to say about that.
So one of the challenges, the things that keep in mind that we've also got reports on, we're not just getting 1,100 jobs. You're going to get that $100 million investment in building that plant is going to bring 600 construction jobs. You're also going to get indirectly about 900 more jobs. So that's where the 2,700 jobs theoretically that could be brought into this area comes from. So when you look at those, when you look at the 1,100 jobs with Sanderson, when you look at the 600 jobs with construction, when you look at the 900 jobs, indirect jobs, those are jobs that are not here now. We don't have them. Nash and Edgecombe and Wilson County needs those jobs. And so that's what we're all about, is bringing jobs to the area to help people get on with living better lives.
Yeah, we firmly believe that keeping up with the environment, is very important. But there's a lot of people, a lot of organizations that are designated to do that job. Department of Natural Resources, EPA, Wildlife Commission, you name it. There's more people looking after that stuff than you can shake a stick at. So we want them to do their jobs, do their due diligence, make sure this plant is going to come up to spec. Our position is that these are 1,100 jobs, millions and millions of dollars worth of investment that will be good for the area, and we want to promote those positive aspects of it. Putting people back to work is important.
The word new in New NC Job stands for Nash, Edgecombe, and Wilson. Members urge that the plant will help, not hurt, the region, which has a 12.23% unemployment rate. Again, they say about $100 million would be invested into the area. When we return on Newsbreak, we highlight yet another leader who's made a positive impact on the city of Rocky Mount. But first, here are your Black History facts.
This Black History moment is brought to you by the Solomon Law Firm, specializing in real estate law and criminal defense. Call William Solomon Jr., Attorney at Law, for an appointment at 252-442-0348. The Solomon office located at 121 South Grace Street, Rocky Mount.
Here are your Black History facts. African-American inventor Garrett Augustus Morgan created the gas mask, then became renowned for using his mask to save workers trapped in a toxic fuel-filled tunnel. Wilt Chamberlain was the first basketball player to score 100 points in a single game during the 1961 season, and the first player in the NBA to score 30,000 points.
You waited patiently. Now it's time. Clearance time at Davenport Honda in Rocky Mount. Hundreds of brand new Hondas, all tagged with the year's lowest prices, with savings up to $6,000 and a lifetime warranty on every vehicle. But hurry, because at Davenport Honda, these deals are the one thing that won't last forever. Davenport Honda in Rocky Mount, your dealership for life.
We're your news team, bringing it home to you with meteorologist Fred Holdsworth, anchor Marie Torres, sports reporter Edward Green, and Matt Habit, our studio guy. WHIG-TV Newsbreak, your voice in the community.
The Country Inn & Suites is your home away from home, with a staff that always treats you as family. If you or your church or company has visitors, give them a great Rocky Mount welcome with a special discount on their overnight or extended stay. Not only is the Country Inn & Suites a comfortable place, we'll spoil them with fresh cookies and complimentary breakfast. We are filled with luxuries like an indoor pool, fitness center, and a guest laundry. The Business Center includes a boardroom, connection to high-speed internet, and catering for meetings is always available. Call me, Donna Chavis, at 252-442-0500 for a tour and or to set up your corporate rate. You're always welcome as family in the Country Inn & Suites, Rocky Mount.
Welcome back to WHIG TV Newsbreak. I'm Marie Torres. This week, North Carolina Education Lottery officials released 3 new instant scratch-off games. The games offer a chance to play for $1, $2, or $3. The $3 game is called Loteria, which is the Spanish word for lottery. The game is bingo style with a top prize of $50,000, while the $2 game, called Triple Your Luck, has a St. Patrick's Day theme and has a top prize of $20,000. The $1 game, called Lucky Number, has a top prize of $3,000. Conservation could bring the big payback. Released to the public this week is a new study commissioned by environmental groups that say every dollar spent on land and water conservation in North Carolina returns $4 worth of natural resources to the state. Conservation group Land for Tomorrow Fund North Carolina spent an average of about $73 million annually over the last 10 years to acquire or protect 289,000 acres. However, the analysis did not take into consideration how land and water conservation could help the economy through job creation or tourism. As the state faces a trimmer budget year, funding for some conservation activities is likely to be in jeopardy. And throughout Black History Month, WHIG-TV is highlighting those in our community who have made positive changes to the way we live. Take a look. Our leader of today has an extensive background that includes her being the first Black woman to be elected to the Rocky Mount City Council. She has spent years of service working at the Employment Security Commission, being a board member of the Gateway Partnership, Community Shelter for the Homeless, the Rocky Mount OIC, and North Carolina Wesleyan College, among several other posts, awards, appointments from the governor, and achievements. Our local train station is even named after her. We recently had the honor to sit down and hear from this profound woman. WHIG-TV leader of today is none other than Helen P. Gay.
I don't like to talk about myself, but I don't know if I've done anything. I hope I've been an example for other people or some people to do something, because I came from a home of 8 children, and I was the oldest girl, and my mother used to always say I had to set an example for the children. So I had to get my lessons, and I had to be an honor student, and I was. And then I didn't have to go to college, but I did get a scholarship to go. I used the same tactics for running for council on the city council as I did when I was running for the state office, riding all over the state. The difference was that I had to go from house to house in Rocky Mount when I was running for this little president of our state organization. I had to go from city to city. But I covered the state and I covered the city too, trying to win the election for council person, because first of all, I was a Black female. And men usually rule, at that time was ruling everything, so a Black female getting up there, that was something. I guess female first and then being Black second was the problem. But anyway, I won against the men, so that was very good, especially for the women. And I just hope that I have represented the women, Black and white, as best that I could anyway. The best thing about that train station naming was that during World War II, and you were not born, the people would come through here after the war was over, and I said, well, you know Rocky Mount? Yeah, we know that because that was a segregated train station. But I would love for people all over the nation to know now that Rocky Mount has named a train station, that same train station that they said was not integrated, that it is named now after a Black woman. But I know I could not have made it if it hadn't been for the Lord and prayer. But then you have to have some common sense too. You have you can't speak all the time when you get angry. Sometimes, as my mama used to tell me, you have to bite your tongue. And then you have to learn how to get along with people. And as the Bible says, you have to learn how to love your enemy. That's one hard thing to do, but if you ever get to do it, you'll be moving on.
Again, that is Helen P. Gay, our leader of today. After the break, we have your look at sports and weather. Don't go anywhere. Model Tyra Banks was the first African-American woman on the cover of GQ magazine and the Sports Illustrated swimsuit issue. Singer and pianist Nat King Cole was the first Black American to host a television variety show.
This Black History Moment is brought to you by the Solomon Law Firm, specializing in real estate law and criminal defense. Call William Solomon Jr. Attorney at Law for an appointment at 252-442-0348. The Solomon office located at 121 South Grace Street, Rocky Mount.
You waited patiently. Now it's time. Clearance time at Davenport Honda in Rocky Mount. Hundreds of brand new Hondas, all tagged with the year's lowest prices, with savings up to $6,000 and a lifetime warranty on every vehicle. But hurry, because at Davenport Honda, these deals are the one thing that won't last forever. Davenport Honda in Rocky Mount, your dealership for life.
The Country Inn & Suites is your home away from home with a staff that always treats you as family. If you or your church or company has visitors, give them a great Rocky Mount welcome with a special discount on their overnight or extended stay. Not only is the Country Inn & Suites a comfortable place, we'll spoil them with fresh cookies and complimentary breakfast. We are filled with luxuries like an indoor pool, fitness center, and a guest laundry. The Business Center includes a boardroom, connection to high-speed internet, and catering for meetings is always available. Call me, Donna Chavis, at 252-442-0500 for a tour and or to set up your corporate rate. You're always welcome as family in the Country Inn & Suites, Rocky Mount.
And we're back. Here to give us a look at the days ahead is WHIG-TV meteorologist Fred Holsworth. Fred?
Another look at our Rocky Mount weather here. And we're on that roller coaster with the temperatures. Warm today, cool tomorrow, colder the next day, and then back to warm. And that's typical of a La Nina situation, which we're currently in. Now, on Friday, we may see some thunderstorms during the morning. Some of those thunderstorms could produce some locally damaging winds, but I believe right now that they'll be isolated. It won't be a widespread event, but still, we could see wind gusts 40, maybe even closer to 50 or 60 miles per hour in some of these very isolated situations. So tomorrow, maybe during the morning you want to turn on your weather radio so you'll be up to date on what's going on with the weather. We're getting into springtime now, severe weather season just around the corner, and with the La Nina situation, they tend to be a little more severe in the southeast during the La Nina than they are during an El Nino situation. Well, let's take a look now at our weather forecast. Today, partly cloudy with a high of 62, winds will be south at 10. Cloudy tonight with a chance of showers developing late, a low of 58, winds south at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Friday, chance of showers, a thunderstorm is possible during the morning, a high of 75 degrees, wind southwest 15 to 25, they could gust to 40, maybe even higher around the thunderstorms. For Friday night, chance of showers early, then clearing overnight with a low of 34. Wind southwest 15 to 25 miles per hour, gusting up to 30. They will decrease overnight to around 5 to 8 miles per hour. For Saturday, sunny with a high of 58, winds east at 5 miles per hour. Saturday night, partly cloudy with a low of 42. Sunday, partly cloudy with a high of 70. Sunday night, cloudy, 50 degrees for the low, And the chance of showers comes back into our picture on Monday with a high of 75 and a low of 45 on Monday night. And that's your Rocky Mount weather right up to the minute. Now back to you.
All right, well, thanks, Fred. And here with us is WHIG TV sports reporter Edward Green. Tell us what's going on in sports this week.
Well, Marie, we got the basketball playoffs started this week, as we've been talking about on Monday and Tuesday, and now we're finally hitting the nitty-gritty as we make it onto the round of 16. So now we're going to find out who advanced. But first, from 8 down to 5, that's where we left you on Tuesday, as just over half of the area school basketball teams advanced to the second round of the state playoffs. Now, Rocky Mount Prep was one of those 5 after winning its first round playoff game in school history, actually, and was the only wildcard team in the 1A East bracket to advance. Now, I caught up with the Jaguars before their game Wednesday at Riverside Martin in Williamston. Mount Prep as he gets ready tonight to take on Riverside Martin in Durham. Coach Knutson, it's been a good road so far this season. You made it into the state playoffs as a wild card, and you beat Goldsboro in the first round. After losing to them the first round last year and also losing to them earlier this season, what was it like to get that win and break through to the second round?
It was a huge win for our program. Redemption, I mean, the boys, when we saw the draw, Goldsboro is who we wanted. I mean, we wanted to get our revenge, so it was sweet.
You were actually down, though, at halftime. What did you tell your guys in the locker room to keep them up and make them fight back?
It was just a mental thing to overcome them. They just decided they weren't going to do the same thing they did last year. They were going to give a little more effort, and they came out on fire in the second half.
Now, you guys are an independent school, and you play a different schedule than I think most people in the county would, but you went 11-6 on the road. Talk about playing an independent schedule a little bit.
It gives us the freedom to play who we want, and it allowed us to get some teams on our schedule that were excellent and have prepared us for the 1A state playoffs. It also gave us a chance to go on the road a bunch because we knew we'd have to go on the road in the playoffs. So being an independent helped us.
I did see that you guys won the 1A independent tournament. What was that like? And you're also on a 7-game win streak heading into the playoffs. Just talk about momentum and how much that means for the state championship.
Yeah, we also start playing earlier than some of the other schools since we haven't had football. And I think in seasons past we've peaked a little bit early. This year we wanted to make sure we peaked at the right time, and we're doing that right now. And like I said, you guys are squaring off against Riverside Martin tonight. What are some of your thoughts on them? Have you seen any film, any strategies going into tonight? Yeah, we've seen Riverside. They came to our Christmas tournament earlier in the year. They're very athletic. Got a big man, 6'8" in the middle. Do a lot of the same things we do. Play good, aggressive man-to-man defense. So they're going to pose a challenge, especially in their gym.
So we're here with Miles Sharp, point guard for Rocky Mount Prep, and he is a junior. And your coach was telling me you had some big threes in your first round win against Goldsboro.
Yes, he just told me to play my game, step up, and don't worry about it. Just everybody on the team play hard, and that we did.
Now, you guys lost to Goldsboro earlier this season as well in the first round last year. What were your thoughts when you saw you were going to be playing them in the first round this year and then to get past them and make it to round 2?
It was just about getting over the hump, setting new standards, and getting revenge back from last year because it was a sour taste in our mouth.
You guys are on a 7-game win streak. You won the 1A independent tournament. What's it like having all this momentum going into the state playoffs?
It's good, but we try not to be cocky and just keep going forward and try the best to keep it going because if we lose now, we go home.
And like you say, now you're playing Riverside Martin tonight within a lose-or-go-home situation. What are some things you saw that you can build on, and what are just going to be some keys to tonight's game?
Just play defense and work as a team and talk on defense, and everything should work out fine.
All right, just last thoughts. What is your guys' ceiling? What would it mean to make a run for the state championship?
It'll be great for the school and to put Rocky Mount Prep on the map and just show everybody that we can work as a team and do better and go on and try to win the ship.
Let's rock on beat. 1, 2, 3, let's rock.
Unfortunately for Rocky Mount Prep, Riverside claimed a tough 60-54 victory over the Jaguars, eliminating them from the playoffs and finishing with a 20-12 record. But it looks like good things are happening over there at Prep. Now, the defending state 3A champions are alive and kicking, though, as Rocky Mount High defeated Southern Wayne at home, 77-73. The Griffons are now 4 wins away from keeping their belt and host 23-5 West Craven Friday night at 8. Now, on the girls' side, North Edgecombe fell to Southside, 61-54. North Edgecombe finishes at 16-10. But better news for the other 2 remaining girls' teams. Rocky Mount edged Triton 49-45 and now face Friday at home at 6:30 a 24-4 South Central team that is responsible for 2 of its 3 losses on the season. And finally, Northern Nash took care of West Carteret 53-43 and host Havelock Friday at 7. So Marie, we are down to 3 teams now, but all those games are at home this Friday night. So if you guys want to go out there, you can catch the Friday night games, and 2 of them are at Rocky Mount. 1 is at Northern Nash. So go out, support local teams. Maybe we can get one of them into the championship this year.
That's right. That's right. We wish them all the best of luck.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much, Edward.
Thanks, Marie.
And thank you for tuning in to NewsBreak today. Join us next week as we continue to bring you news that's impacting our community. For WHIG-TV, I'm Marie Torres. We'll see you next time.